chasing you anymore. When a woman stops chasing you, it's not because she stopped caring. It's because she realized something important. Chasing you costs her more than it's worth. At some point, she took a step back, looked at the situation. It's strength. It's her choosing herself over chasing someone who didn't meet her halfway. When a woman stops chasing, it doesn't mean she stopped caring. It means she started caring more about herself. And the moment she does, she's no longer looking back. Do you see it the same way? Drop a yes if you do, and follow me to see more videos. God bless you.
Leave your suggestions on my community tab in YouTube channel that on which topic would you like my next video.
What makes a woman lose respect for a man? It's not about how much money he has, how tall he is, or how smooth his game is. Respect goes deeper than surface traits. For a woman who values emotional maturity, it's about how a man carries himself when things aren't easy, how he shows up when no one's clapping. Now, let's be real. A woman can love you and still lose respect for you. That's where it gets tricky. Because once respect starts slipping, the emotional glue holding the relationship together starts to weaken. And when a woman doesn't respect you, everything changes. How she talks to you, how she looks at you, how she trusts your decisions. So what causes that shift? First, inconsistency. A man who says one thing but does another will slowly chip away at her trust. If you're hot one day and cold the next, making promises and breaking them casually, she starts to feel like she can't rely on you. And when she can't rely on you, she can't respect you. Second, emotional cowardice. Let's not confuse being calm with being emotionally unavailable. If you avoid hard conversations, shut down every time she brings up a real issue, or act like her feelings are too much, she's not going to feel safe being open with you. And when a woman has to constantly dim her emotional light around you, she'll start seeing you as emotionally weak, not strong. Third, passivity. A man who refuses to lead in any area, his life, his growth, or the relationship, eventually becomes unattractive to a woman who's doing her inner work. Leadership doesn't mean control, it means intention. If she's always the one making plans, initiating progress, or having to push you toward your potential, that doesn't feel like partnership. It feels like parenting. And lastly, disrespect. Subtle jabs, dismissive tones, rolling your eyes when she talks. These things seem small, but they build up. When a woman feels unseen, unheard, or unappreciated, she doesn't always shout about it. But inside, the switch flips. She might still be present physically, but emotionally, she's checking out. And here's the twist. When a woman loses respect, she doesn't always leave right away. But she starts investing less. She stops looking to you for answers. She stops fighting for closeness. It's not revenge, it's resignation. The bottom line is this: respect isn't demanded, it's cultivated through consistency, presence, integrity, and leadership, not perfection. When a man shows up with emotional strength and authenticity, he earns more than love. He earns her respect. And when he loses that, it's a hard thing to get back. If you feel this message, drop a yes in the comments and follow me to see more videos. God bless you.
Ladies and gentlemen, there was a time when I believed that the more I gave, the more I loved, and the more I accommodated people, the better my life would be. But life has a way of teaching us lessons that no book, no mentor, no friend can teach. And one of the hardest lessons I learned was this: stop being too friendly. Now, don't get me wrong, I am not saying we should stop being kind, caring, or compassionate. But what I am saying is there is a fine line between being kind and being taken for granted. When you constantly prioritize others at the expense of your own well-being, you slowly start losing yourself. Being kind is one of the most beautiful traits a person can have. It reflects warmth, empathy, and a genuine concern for others. But have you ever wondered where kindness ends and over-friendliness begins? Have you ever felt drained because you kept giving, only to realize that the people around you never reciprocated the same energy? This is where we must draw a line between being compassionate and allowing ourselves to be taken for granted. Many of us are raised with the belief that being a good person means always being available, always smiling and always helping, even at the cost of our own comfort. We grow up believing that if we are friendly, people will like us more, and in return, we will feel valued. But as we step into the real world, we realize that not everyone appreciates kindness the way we do. Some people take it as an open invitation to use, manipulate, or even disrespect us. This is when kindness turns into over-friendliness, when we give so much that we forget to set boundaries. Over-friendliness often comes from a place of insecurity. Many people try to be overly accommodating because they fear rejection or conflict. They think that by always saying yes, by always being agreeable, they will be loved and accepted. But in reality, the opposite happens. The more available you are, the more people take you for granted. The more you say yes to things you don't want to do, the more you lose your voice. And the more you prioritize others over yourself, the more you become invisible in your own life. There is a misconception that being friendly means never disappointing anyone. But here's the truth: you cannot make everyone happy, and you are not supposed to. The moment you realize this, your life will become easier. It is not your job to always be the one who understands, the one who adjusts, or the one who puts everyone else's needs above their own. There's a reason airlines tell you to put on your own oxygen mask before helping others, because you cannot pour from an empty cup. Some of the most generous and kind-hearted people I have met are also the ones who have suffered the most. Why? Because they gave and gave until they had nothing left for themselves. They became so focused on pleasing others that they lost their own identity. They were so eager to be liked that they forgot to ask themselves, do I even like the person I am becoming? That is the real danger of over-friendliness. It makes you lose yourself in the process of trying to be everything for everyone. Let's talk about boundaries. Boundaries are not about being rude or selfish. Boundaries are about respecting yourself enough to say, I deserve to be treated with the same kindness that I give to others. When you allow people to cross your boundaries repeatedly, you teach them that it is okay to disrespect you. You teach them that your time, your emotions, and your energy are not valuable. But when you set boundaries, you send a message: I value myself and I expect others to value me too. Some people will not like the new you when you start setting boundaries. they will call you selfish, rude, or arrogant. Why? Because they were benefiting from the fact that you had none. They were comfortable with the version of you that always said yes, always agreed, and always made life easier for them. But do not let this guilt trap stop you from protecting your peace. If someone gets upset because you are no longer allowing them to take advantage of you, that is a clear sign that they were never truly your friend. Real friendships and relationships are built on mutual respect. A true friend will not get angry when you say no. A true friend will understand when you need space, when you need time for yourself, or when you cannot always be available. But those who only stick around when you are convenient for them, they are not your friends.
Follow me in Paris.
They are just people who benefited from your inability to say no. Over-friendliness can also impact your career
People don't
and professional
respect you,
life.
it is not their fault.
Many people
It is
think that
because
by
of what
always
you
being
allow.
agreeable at
Today,
work,
let's talk about 5
they will earn
toxic
respect
habits
and
you
recognition.
must remove if you
But in
truly
reality,
want respect in life.
it often
Let me
leads to
tell
the
you,
opposite.
the moment you drop these,
If you are always the
the
one who
world will
stays
look at you
late,
differently.
takes on extra work without question,
Respect
and
is
never
not about
speaks up,
looking strong.
people will assume
It's
that you
about
are okay with it.
being strong. Drop
They
these
will keep
habits and watch
piling
the world change.
responsibilities onto you
When you
while others
over-explain
get
yourself,
promotions
you
and
give people
opportunities
permission to
because they
question
know
your
how
worth.
to assert themselves.
The more you
The
justify
workplace, much
this
like
through your
life,
stance
respects those who know their worth.
Think about
The
it.
same applies to
When was
relationships.
the last time
Whether
you
it's with family, friends, or a romantic partner, if you do not set limits, people will unconsciously push those limits further and further. The problem with being too friendly is that you expect people to treat you the way you treat them. But unfortunately, the world does not work that way. Some people see kindness as weakness. Some see it as an opportunity to take advantage. And some simply do not have the same heart as you. That is why it is crucial to understand that not everyone deserves your kindness in unlimited amounts. And I talk to myself.
You start giving a full breakdown. Oh,
And I still remember what I said.
overwhelmed with work, and I read
I
this
cannot
article
wait
that
for a
says
miracle to come and make
too
me
much
walk.
social media is bad for the brain.
I cannot sit in the corner of the room crying, cribbing, and begging for mercy because nobody has time.
Stop. Look at the
So I
difference.
have to accept myself the
Simply
way I am.
say,
The
I
sooner the
just
better.
felt like it.
So I applied the lip
No
color for the
room
first
for
time.
questioning. No room for debate. If you explain too much, people sense hesitation. Hesitation breaks down.
And I erased it.
Picture another scenario. You decide
cried.
not to attend a family
And I said,
gathering.
what am I doing? A person on a
No,
wheelchair
no,
should not
no,
do this.
why?
What will
You
people
feel
say?
pressure.
Clean it
You
up.
start giving an essay about how
Put it
work
again.
has been exhausting, how you
This
have
time
to
I put
sleep
it for
well, how you have
myself.
too much on your plate.
Because I wanted to feel perfect from within.
Oh, come on, it's just one evening. You won't do this. You never make time for family. But if you had just said, I won't be able to make it,
And that day I
you
decided
would have had nothing.
that I'm going to live life for myself.
The more reasons you
I
give,
am not going
the
to
more ammunition
be
they
that
have to
perfect
fight.
person for someone. I am
Look at the
just
most
going to
powerful
take this
people in the
moment
world,
and I will
leaders,
make it
visionaries,
perfect for myself.
Celebrities.
And
Do
you know how it all began?
over-explaining? No.
That day I decided
Because they
that
understand
I'm going to
the power
fight my
of words.
fears. We all
The
have
moment you
fears.
start justifying,
Fear of
you
unknown.
lose authority.
Fear
Think
of
of it like
known.
this.
Fear
Imagine
of
a
losing
luxury
people.
brand.
Fear
Does
of
Rolls-Royce
losing
ever
health,
explain why their
money.
cars are expensive?
We want to
They
excel
ride
in
long
career. We
races
want to
to
become
explain
famous. We want to
why
get
they're-
money. We are scared
No,
all
they
the
simply
time.
exist. And
So
people
I wrote
respect the
down
brand
one
because
by
it
one
doesn't
all
beg
those
for
fears.
approval. Now,
And
apply
I
this to
decided
your
that I'm
life.
going to overcome
Say
these
you
fears
started
one at a
with
time.
nothing.
Do you know
Maybe
what was my
waking up
biggest
at 5
fear?
a.m. to work on your goals. The
Divorce.
friend asks, why are you doing this? Instead of saying, well, I
couldn't
read
stand this
somewhere that
word.
successful people wake up early.
I was
I
trying
want
to
try
cling
it
onto
because
this
I feel
person
like I
who
waste
didn't
time
want
in
me
the morning.
anymore, but I said
Just
no.
say, I like it.
I
The
have
less you
to make it
explain, the
work.
more powerful
But
you
the day
appear.
I decided that this is
A
nothing but
person
my
who is sure
fear,
of themselves does
I
not
liberated
prove it to
myself
anyone.
by setting him free.
You don't see a diamond
And I
apologizing.
made myself emotionally
Right.
so strong
You don't see a mountain
that the day I
explaining
got
why
the
it
news that
stands
he's getting
tall.
married, I
Think
sent
about
him
a
a
time in
text
school or work when you
that I'm so happy for you and I wish you all the best.
didn't want to
And
participate.
he knows that I pray for him today.
The moment you said no, you bombarded people. You started over-explaining, and they pressured you even
My
more.
biggest fear,
If you had just said,
number two,
I'm not
was
interested, and left it
I
at
won't be
that,
able to be a mother
they would have
again.
had nothing to latch on to.
And that was quite
This is what
devastating for me.
separates those who are respected from those who are
Then I
walked over.
realized there are
And
so
the
many
worst
children in the
part,
world, all they want is
you
acceptance.
over-explain those
So there is no
consequences.
point of crying,
Imagine a
just
boss
go and adopt
explaining
one.
every rule he makes,
And that's what I
trying to
did.
justify why it's necessary. The police start questioning. He has to explain so much more about it. But a strong leaders.
I gave my name in
This
different
is the new
organizations, different orphanages.
That's it.
I didn't mention that I'm on a wheelchair, dying to have a child. So I just told them that this is Muniba Mazari and she wants to adopt a boy or girl whatsoever, but I want to adopt a kid. And I waited
Now look
patiently.
at your own life.
2
Where
years
are you
later, I
open?
got this call from
Your
a very
family,
small city in
your
Pakistan.
friends at work.
I got a call and they
Maybe
said, "Are you Muniba
urge to
Mazari?
justify.
There is a baby boy, and would you like to adopt?"
Would a powerful person
And when I say yes, I could literally
answer is
feel the
no,
labor
then
pain.
stop
I said,
talking.
yes.
Think
yes,
about a
I am
relationship
going
where
to
one
adopt
person
him.
always
I am
feels the
coming
need
to
to
take him
explain
home.
themselves. Maybe a girlfriend constantly justifying
And that
why she
day,
wants some alone
I
time,
was 2
or a
years old,
boyfriend
2 days
over-explaining
old, and
why he
today
didn't
he's
text
6.
back immediately. Weakens them. Because the moment you start explaining, you put yourself in a lower position. And here's the truth that will change your life.
You'll be
People
surprised to know
respect
another
those
bigger
who are
fear that I
certain
had
of
in me.
themselves. If you respect
It
your
was
own
facing
decisions,
people.
others will too. But if you
I
keep
used to hide
explaining, you
myself
tell them,
from people.
I need
When
your
I was on
approval
bed
to
for
feel
2
okay
years,
with my
I used to keep
choices.
the door closed.
That
I used to pretend that
is a
I'm
sure way
not
to
going to
lose
meet
it.
anyone, tell them that I'm sleeping.
If someone questions
You
your
know why?
boundaries, don't
Because I
justify
couldn't
it.
stand that
Reinforce
sympathy
it.
that
If
they
someone
had for
asks
me.
why you live a certain
They used
way,
to treat me like a patient. When I used to smile, they used to look at me and say that, "You're smiling, are you okay?" I was tired of this question being asked, "Are you sick?" Well, a lady yesterday at the airport asked me, "Are you sick?" And I said, "Well, besides the spinal cord injury, I'm fine, I guess." But those are really cute questions. They never used to feel cute when I was on the bed. So I used to hide myself from people, knowing that, oh my God, I'm not going to see that sympathy in their eyes. It's all right. And today I'm here speaking to all these amazing people because I have overcome the fear. You know, when you end up being on the wheelchair, what's the most painful thing? That's another fear that people on the wheelchair, or the people who are differently able, have in their hearts, but they never share. I'll share that with you. The lack of acceptance. People think that they will not be accepted by other people because we, in the world of perfect people, are imperfects. So I decided that instead of starting an NGO for disability awareness, which I know will not help anyone, I started to appear more in public. I started to paint. I always wanted to. I've done a lot of exhibitions. I'm Pakistan's first wheelchair-bound artist. I've done a lot of modeling campaigns, different campaigns for brands like Tony and Guy. I have done some really funny, breaking the barriers kind of modeling. There was this one by the name Clown Town where I became a clown because I know that clowns have hearts too. And then I also decided that if I really want to make the difference, I am not going to let people use me for their polio campaigns where they will make you a victim at an emblem of misery and mercy and will say that, you know what, give polio drops to your children or they'll become like this girl. I decided that I'm going to join the national TV of Pakistan as an anchor person. And I've been doing a lot of shows for the last 3 years. So when you accept yourself the way you are, the world recognizes you. It all starts from within. Thank you. I became the National Goodwill Ambassador for UN Women Pakistan, and now I speak for the rights of women, children. We talk about inclusion, diversity, gender equality, which is a must. I was featured in BBC 100 Women for 2015. I'm one of Forbes 30 under 30 for 2016. And it all didn't happen alone. You all are thriving in your careers. You have bigger dreams and aspirations in life. Always remember one thing. On the road to success, there is always we, not me. Do not think that you alone can achieve things. No. There's always another person who is standing behind you, maybe not coming on the forefront, but behind you, praying for you and supporting you. Never lose that person. Never. No matter how much I say that I couldn't find a hero, so I became one, I still want to recognize those three people in my life who literally changed my life completely. And I get inspiration from them every single day. Waleed Khan. Many people know about the terrorist attacks in Pakistan. We have lost many people. And I'm sharing this with a very heavy heart because we actually have lost a lot of people in this huge turmoil of terrorism. These people are barbarians. They do not see people. They're even worse than animals. They have killed people in mosques. They have killed people in churches, temples, even in schools. There was this terrorist attack in Army Public School, Peshawar, where these terrorists entered in an examination hall and they killed our children. And in that attack, that day, this beautiful boy, Waleed Khan, who was my hero, my real life hero, was the proctor who was taking care of the students, was keeping an eye on the students. Those barbarians shot him 3 times in the face, 5 times on his body, and he fell down. I was asked to give a talk in the school after a week of that terrorist attack. With a very heavy heart, I went there and I spoke. We sang a few national songs. I thought that maybe I've done my part, but deep inside, it was killing me. I could see children injured. I could see children sitting on the wheelchairs looking at me wondering, what next? What was our fault? Just because we were here to give examination, we have been shot. So many people, so many children lost their friends. Their classrooms were empty. The next day they went to the classroom. So this kid, Waleed Khan, I was asked that he is in a hospital right now and you have to go and see him and motivate him and tell him that it's going to be okay. And when I saw Waleed Khan coming on the wheelchair for the first time in front of me, face was all deformed. His leg was fractured, his arm was fractured. He couldn't talk, he lost his teeth. He cannot sneeze, he cannot smell. He cannot eat. And I kept thinking, what should I say? That everything is going to be all right? No, nothing is all right. And while I was juggling with the words, what to say, what not to say, this beautiful child, Waleed Khan, came to me and he said, "Are you Muniba Mazari?" I said, "Yes." He said, "Baji, let's take a selfie." And with that beautiful, toothless smile of Waleed Khan, we took that beautiful selfie that I still have with me. I don't share that here because he was in a very bad shape that time. And that is where I realized that when I was thinking too much about his deformities, he's happy with himself. He doesn't even care. Because today he goes in the same school. And when somebody asks him that what happened to your face, why so many scars? You know what he says? "These scars are my medals and I wear them with pride." And how beautifully he says the terrorists wanted me not to study. I am going to study. I will become a doctor one day. And this is my way of taking revenge from those terrorists. Another real life hero, of course, my son. His name is Nile, Nile, River Nile. I learned so much from this kid. The first and foremost thing is patience. How to be patient when you know that your mother cannot walk, when you know that your mother is different from the other women, when you know that your mother cannot go out and play with you, how to stay calm. He loves football. And when we got the very first football, he was 4 years old. He was super excited. I still remember he came in the room and he said, "Mom, let's play football." And he kept the ball in my feet. And he said, "Let's kick it." And that day I felt disabled. I said, "I cannot kick the ball." And I was down. with the same face. He looked at me and he said, "Well, that's all right. Your legs are not working, but your hands do. Let's play." You know what? That day he made me realize that when you think your glass is half empty, come on, your glass is half full. It's all in here and here. Last but not least, the woman who made me realize that heroes have no gender. The woman who believed in me even when I was completely at the verge of despair, where everybody left, she was there. And every time I looked at her, without saying anything, she used to look at me and said, "This too shall pass. God has a bigger plan. And one day you will say that, oh my God, that is why God has chosen me." She never cried in front of me. She's always said that there will be haters, there will be naysayers, there will be disbelievers, and then there will be you proving them wrong. My mother. Whatever I am today, I'm nothing without her. I'm nothing without her. Thank you, Mom. I wish you were here. Thank you for making me who I am today. You know what? We human beings have a problem. Out of many problems, there is one more, and this is a self-created one. We always expect ease from life. We have this amazing fantasy about life. This is how things should work. This is my plan. It should go as per my plan. If that doesn't happen, we give up. So my dear friends, let me tell you one thing. I never wanted to be on the wheelchair. Never thought of being on the wheelchair. I was always aspiring to do bigger things, but had no idea that for that I have to pay the price to be where I am today. It's a very heavy price. This life is a test and a trial. And tests are trials are never supposed to be easy. So when you're expecting ease from life, and life gives you lemons, and you make lemonade, and then do life is a trial. Every time you realize that. Life is a trial. Every time you realize that. It is okay to be scared. It is okay to cry. Everything is okay, but giving up should not be an option. Everything is okay. They always say that failure is not an option. Failure should be an option because when you fail, you get up, and then you fail, and then you get up, and that keeps you going. That's how humans are strong. Failure is an option, should be an option. Giving up is not. Never. Giving up is not. We have this thing in minds. We call it perfection. We want everything perfect. We want ourselves to be perfect. There is this image in our head about everything. Perfect life, perfect relationships, perfect career, perfect amount of money that we need to earn no matter what. Nothing is perfect in this world. We all are perfectly imperfect, and that is perfectly all right. That's all right. We were sent here not to become the perfect people. Those people who tell you how to look perfect, even those people are imperfect. Trying to fight this fear of looking imperfect. I used to be perfect. I still remember. I got this compliment years ago when I used to walk. Oh my God, look at you. You're fair. You're tall. You're perfect. Look at me now. Only the perfect eyes can see that. Only the perfect eyes will see that. Only the perfect eyes will see that. So yes, in all those imperfections, you have to listen to your heart. You don't have to look good for people. You don't have to be perfect just because other people want you to be perfect. If your soul is perfect from within, that's all right. This is all what you want. This is all what you need to be. Our society has made very weird kind of norms to look perfect and great. For men, it's different. For women, it's different. We think too much about what people say. We listen to ourselves too little. You know what makes you perfect? We listen to ourselves too little. When you make someone smile. You know what? You know what makes you perfect? When you try to do something good for the people around you. You know what makes you perfect? When you feel someone's pain. And how beautiful pain is that it connects you with people. No other medium can connect you with others but pain. That's why I always say that I'm in pain, and that's a blessing in disguise for me. Today, just because I'm in pain and I'm on the wheelchair, I work for children. Being the head of CSR for a company, we conduct medical camps in far-flung areas of Pakistan where so many kids die because they don't have medical facilities. And I personally believe just because they cannot afford to live doesn't mean we'll let them die. So we give them money, we give them medical treatment, we try to heal their
Ladies and gentlemen,
wounds,
let me
physical
tell
and
you
emotional.
something today that could
And I
change
also work
your
for
life.
the beautiful people,
Don't block him.
we call them third
Don't
gender,
beg.
the
Just
transgender community of Pakistan.
and
You know
then
what connects
sit
me with
back
them?
and watch what happens.
All my
See, when
imperfections.
somebody disrespects you, leaves you hanging, or stops valuing you, the natural reaction is to act out, to block them, to get their attention, or to beg them to stay because you're afraid to lose them. But both of those moves, they do one thing: they give away your power. And let me tell you something: your power is the one thing you can never afford to hand over. Ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about something that can change the entire direction of your life if you truly understand it. Stop reacting emotionally and start responding with self control. See, most people out here are walking around like loaded guns, ready to go off at the slightest trigger. Somebody says the wrong thing, they explode. Somebody ignores them, they get desperate. Somebody leaves them on red, they lose sleep over. But the truth is, every time you react like that, you're giving your power away. You're letting somebody else, somebody who might not even care about your well being, control your mood, your mind, and your peace. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the fastest way to stay stuck. When you react emotionally, you're not thinking about the big picture. You're only thinking about that moment, about your pride, your ego, your feelings being hurt. So you block them. You send that long text, you call them names, you cry, you scream, you beg. And in doing so, you forget who you are. You forget that you're not supposed to be out here proving your worth to anyone. You forget that you're not supposed to be available for disrespect. And you forget that your energy is sacred. Reacting emotionally feels good for a second because it lets the anger or pain out. But once that moment passes, you're left with the regret, the embarrassment, and the realization that you let somebody else pull your strings like a puppet. Now imagine if instead of reacting, you responded. Responding is different. Responding is about self-control. It's about pausing, breathing, and deciding, is this even worth my energy? When you respond with control, you become unpredictable. And unpredictable people are powerful because they don't move when somebody pushes their buttons. They move only when they decide to. That's real strength. That's real confidence. That's the kind of energy that makes people sit up and pay attention because they can't shake you. They can't break you. They can't get inside your head. because you've locked the door. I'm here to tell you, your peace is your responsibility. Your emotional state is your responsibility. And no one, I mean no one, should have the remote control to your feelings. Not that person who ghosted you. Not that ex who tried to come back when they saw you shining. Not that friend who betrayed you. You've got to take that control back. Because the moment you do, the moment you stop reacting like everybody else, you start rising above. People will notice when they can no longer get a rise out of you. That's when they start to respect you. That's when they start to question what's changed about you. But more importantly, that's when you start to respect yourself. When you practice self-control, you're not suppressing your emotions, you're mastering them. You're saying, I feel this pain, this anger, this sadness, but I refuse to let it dictate my actions. You give yourself the space to process, to heal, and to come back stronger instead of digging a deeper hole with impulsive reactions. And let me tell you, that space you create for yourself is where your growth happens. That's where you level up mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. That's where you build your empire. Not in chaos, but in calm. Not in desperation, but in discipline. So the next time somebody tries to shake you, remember this. Your reaction is your power. Don't give it away for free. Don't let temporary feelings lead you to permanent mistakes. Stand firm in your self-worth. Hold your head high. Keep your hands steady and choose to respond, not react, because the person who controls their emotions controls the room. The person who controls their emotions controls their future. And the person who controls their emotions, that person is unstoppable. Ladies and gentlemen, I need you to understand something deep today. Blocking or begging, both of them are just different ways of giving away your power. When you block someone, it feels strong in the moment. You feel like you cut them off, shut them out. But if you look closer, most of the time, it's an emotional reaction. You're blocking because you want them to notice. You want them to feel your absence. You want them to miss you. And right there, without even realizing it, you've handed your power over to them. Because now your peace depends on whether or not they care. Your mood depends on whether they react the way you want them to. And that, my friends, is not power. That's bondage. The same goes for begging. Begging is the loudest way to tell somebody you've forgotten your own worth. It's you saying, I'll do anything just to keep you. And every time you say that, whether with words or actions, you shrink a little bit more inside. You move further and further away from your own dignity. You become smaller in their eyes, and even worse, you become smaller in your own. And let me tell you something right now. Nobody ever respects what's desperate. People are drawn to strength, to confidence, to self-respect. So when you beg, you push them further away. When you block out of anger or pain, you show them they still control you. Either way, you lose. Because both actions are rooted in the need for their reaction, their attention, their validation. But what if I told you the real way to win is to do neither? Don't block, don't beg, stay composed, stay calm, stay unbothered, because real power is quiet. It doesn't scream, it doesn't chase, it doesn't force. Real power stands still and lets everything else move around it. When you stay composed, you confuse people. You shake them without lifting a finger. because they expect you to react. They expect you to fall apart. They expect you to do something dramatic. But when you don't, when you hold your peace and keep moving forward, that's when they feel your absence the most. That's when they realize they no longer have the power to disturb your spirit. And that shift, that silent shift, is where you take your power back. Now, while you're staying composed, here's the next move. Focus on leveling up yourself, not on changing them. Too many people waste precious time trying to fix someone who's already shown you who they are. You think if you love harder, if you explain better, if you cry louder, they will change, but they won't, because change doesn't come from pressure. It comes from within. And every minute you spend trying to change them is a minute you're not using to change yourself. And let me tell you, that's where your real breakthrough lies. The magic doesn't happen when they come back crying. The magic happens when you built yourself up so strong, so whole, so fulfilled, that whether they come back or not doesn't even shake your world. That's the real glow up. So instead of watching your phone waiting for their text, go hit the gym and build the body you've always wanted. Instead of stalking their social media, go read a book and build the mindset that will take you places. Instead of sitting in your room crying over what went wrong, go outside, get some fresh air, start that business, take that class, fix your credit, build your future. Because every time you invest in you, you make yourself more powerful. And every time you do that, you shift the focus back where it belongs, on your growth, your peace, your elevation. That's how you win, not by changing them, but by changing you. Not by blocking or begging, but by building. So stay composed, stay focused, and let your growth do all the talking. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something today that will change the way you handle every situation in your life. Silence, real silence, speaks louder than any argument or any tear ever could. Most people think they need to explain themselves, that they need to prove their point, that they need to show how much they are hurting so that the other person finally understands. But the truth is, the louder you get, the less they hear. The more you argue, the more they block you out. And the more you cry, the more they start seeing your pain as weakness instead of feeling guilty for causing it. But when you go silent, when you stop trying to convince them, stop trying to win the argument, stop trying to make them care, that's when everything shifts. That silence gets louder in their ears than any words you could ever say. It forces them to sit with their own thoughts. It makes them question what's really going on. Because silence is powerful. It's mysterious. It makes people wonder. And that wondering is more painful, more effective, and more unforgettable than anything you could scream at the top of your lungs. But here's where you take it even further. You don't just go silent and sit in the dark. You let success be your response. When someone disrespects you, when they break your heart, when they count you out, don't waste your energy trying to get revenge or prove them wrong with words. Prove them wrong with results. Let your growth be so loud that it drowns out everything else. Let your success be so bright that they can't help but see it, even if they try to look away. Because success, ladies and gentlemen, is the ultimate clapback. It's the best way to show someone that they didn't break you. They built you. Every time someone tried to bring you down, they only gave you more fuel to rise higher. And when you focus on winning in life, when you get your money right, your mind right, your body right, your peace right, you start moving different. You stop seeking approval, and the very people who thought they could destroy you are forced to watch you shine. That's a level of power no argument or breakdown can ever give you. Now watch what happens when you choose self-respect over desperation. Everything changes. People feel it when you no longer need them. They sense it when your energy shifts from please don't leave me to I'll be just fine without you. And that shift shakes them to their core because desperate energy pushes people away. It makes them feel superior, like they're doing you a favor by staying. Self-respect pulls people in. It commands attention without begging for it. It demands respect without even raising its voice. And when you start moving with self-respect, doors open that were once closed. Opportunities come your way. People who once overlooked you now want to be around you. And those who disrespected you start realizing they lost something valuable. That's the power of self-respect. It doesn't chase, it attracts. It doesn't plead, it shines. So while the world teaches you to fight back, to cry louder, to do more, I'm here to tell you that your greatest weapon is silence. Your greatest revenge is success. And your greatest shift comes when you choose self-respect over desperation. Because when you get to that level, you don't even have to say a word. Your life will speak for you. Your glow will speak for you. And your peace will speak for you. And that's when you truly win. Not when they come back, not when they apologize, but when you rise so high that you forget you ever needed them to in the first place. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you today, the moment you start reacting emotionally and start responding with self-control, everything in your life begins to change. See, most people are trapped in their emotions. They let anger make decisions for them. They let sadness guide their actions. They let fear and desperation control their moods. And every time you do that, you're letting someone else play with your peace. You're allowing their words, their actions, their rejection to pull you like a puppet. And that's exactly how you lose your power. Emotional reactions feel good in the heat of the moment. You want to scream, you want to block, you want to beg, you want to prove a point. But once that moment passes, you realize all you did was lower yourself. All you did was show them they still control how you feel. And that is not where your power lives. Blocking them might feel like you're standing up for yourself, but deep down, you know it's a move that comes from pain. It's not strength, it's a reaction. Begging them to stay, pleading for their attention, it's even worse. That's you handing them the keys to your worth and asking them to decide if you're enough. And that's a game you'll never win because the more you chase, the more they run. The more you cry, the less they listen. So you have to stay composed. You have to rise above that impulse to block, beg, or break down. Real power is quiet. Real strength doesn't need to react. It sits back, it grieves, and it responds with calm. And that calm, that control, is what starts shifting everything in your favor. But while you're holding your composure, you got to do something even more important. You got to stop focusing on changing them and start leveling up yourself. Too many people waste precious time trying to fix someone who's already shown you who they are. You keep thinking if you explain better, if you love harder, If you cry more, they will finally understand, but they won't. Because change doesn't come from pressure, it comes from within. And every minute you spend trying to change them is a minute you're not using to change you. So shift that energy. Take all that love, all that time, all that effort you were giving away and turn it inward. Build your body, sharpen your mind, secure your money, protect your peace. Because when you level up, you don't have to beg anybody to see your worth. Your growth will make them notice. Your success will speak so loud that it will drown out every no they ever told you. And when you add silence to that mix, that's when you become unstoppable.